Hi, I'm Mike. I'm going to make a video on how to put a wheel well in your GMC 2500 Sierra for $50,000 that don't come with one. I've watched two videos and they were both wrong, so I'm going to put this out there. The first thing you want to do is you open your package up and you get the 7 green clips, which I've already done. You put one in here, 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 and here, and here, and there, and there. They're the only 7 square holes they are, so you just snap them in. And the next thing I'm going to do is take off the 2 mud flaps, and there's 5 screws on each one. I've already done the other side, so I worked out my own little way to do it, but I'll show you a proper placement because on one video the guy put it on wrong. So I'm going to take the 2 screws out of here, and then there's one up here. They come out fairly easy. It's just a black screw with a Torx end on it. And then on the other side, you have 3 screws, which I'm going to do manually because I don't have a cool little battery powered ratchet. So I've taken the 5 screws out. This comes down loose. I looked up under here, there's a buckle. So you want to be careful. Kind of pull it back and pull it down and it comes off. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn it. And I'm going to take off this side the same way. Then I'll get back to the video. So in the instructions, they want you to pull these off all the way. I saw a few videos, they say they're just going to pull it off. I just take a pair of needle nose and I'm going to move the camera over. There's some nice 1/4-inch plastic hold-ons, and if you pinch the wings, it'll come off. So I'm going to get some help with this, but I'm going to show you on the first one. And I can reach up to here on the inside, and then I have to pull a little bit off. But I only pull it off up to here because the wheel well is easy to fit over the metal, because you can tip this down a little. If you get both sides up to about here, this thing will swing out just a little bit. And I'm going to stuff a rag underneath it to hold it. So let me pause, and I'm going to try to get a better view. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the easy one, which is right here. That's the first plastic clip. There are 2 sets of them, one on the inside and the outside. The 3 I can reach. I can reach up high to get on the inside laying on my back, or on the other side of the metal you have to reach up. It's the same on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze that, and they really pop off easy if you squeeze the wings back in on it. And I'm going to get some help. I'm going to have my girlfriend pull out on the trim while I do it, because it's easier for me. So I'm just going to squeeze these wings, and it just comes right out. That one's loose. So I'm going to put the video up on the table, and we're going to do the rest together, so I don't have to hold it and contort myself. So hold that out so that plastic thing don't snap back in. Now get the inside one. So if you hold that up, I'll put this one here. You pull out here with the other thing? No, just this side, something right here.
Alright.
Trying to see the wings. You can pull out on the back too. We'll pull out so hard. In trouble with that one. How's the video?
Good.
Pause it.
Alright.
If you hold it out. Pause it. Okay, so now that I got the ones I could reach out, I got two on this side. I think there's another one up here. But I'm gonna go ahead. There's one in the middle I can't get at. So I'm gonna get real close to it and pull it out. And here's what the buttons look like. They kind of slide in. Some of them drop when you pull them out. Don't freak out right away, but if you want, you might want to order some of these before you start. I didn't break none on the other side. That's why I'm using the pliers. You can kind of see the wings on them that you squeeze, but some you just can't get at. Yeah, one's giving me a hard time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Colleen to please get me a rag so I can stuff it in there to hold this out without scratching it. And it gives me quite a bit of room to slide the fender up on this side. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side right after she moves the camera. If she pauses it, it would be nice. All right, so you gotta just pull on this side so we'll get the other bottom clip. Now this one, you want to get it off up to about here. I like to start it with the pliers to get it so I can pull out straight on the clips. I think that would be far enough. You see there's a wire here, you want to be careful of that. There's a wire coming through for the light. I'm going to just stuff a rag here so they won't clip in while I'm working on it. And I'm going to go get the wheel well and explain how I'm going to hook it up and where it has to go. So if you look down here where the wheel well is, you have these 3 areas in the middle. Those are going to line up. There's a stud here, there's a stud here, and there's a stud here. These are the clips that we put in. It's the only 7 square holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where the green clips go. The rest of these holes, you're not pointed down. The rest of these holes are for screws. On one video, a guy said that you remove these and cut one of them off, but you don't, because this spacer actually holds off. So the spacer holds it up so you can use these clips to here. This fits inside of here, and all this does is push it out so you can get the screw started. So you have your metal lip here, so this edge is going to go on the outside of the metal lip. It looks like the edge is small and you only have to put it in a little bit, but it's actually going to go past it. And this lip's actually going to back seat against the, can you get this metal lip here? It's going to back seat against this little 1/4 inch lip, so it's going to be sticking out to about here. So we're going to set up and we're going to try to get this in place. You want to get it on the studs and try to lay it on here, and it's kind of a little bit to get it behind both of these on each side because it gets firmer as you put it on. So give us a minute to set up and we'll you can watch us struggle. So I have this wider button that's going to go on the center stud. That's just going to be a push-on piece. And then the other 2 studs, you get this nut, which it holds real good. It don't want to loosen up because you kind of deform the plastic as you put it on. So we're going to go ahead and let you watch us get this on. I noticed that if you start in the front, it's easier to get the back one over that lip. But before I start, the black clips, could you bring that over here? Video. So these 3 black clips, you want to remove them. Just kind of pull out on them and pick up. And you'll take the other ones off the other side. Over here, Kelly. Because you're gonna use these fasteners on here to hold your mud flap on later, and it's gonna pull everything together. I'm gonna set that back over there. So I'm gonna set my nuts here so we don't have to let go of nothing. And I put it with the flat part going down, and all of this, you're gonna end up having a flop. So this is gonna be over that. Ask her to pull that back out. And I'm going to get this behind here. I'm sliding it behind the tab. And now I'm going to ask her to go over there. So that's going to end up behind here, out here. You just hold that. And before I get the studs on, I'm gonna try to get this up behind the tab. You gotta kind of move it a little. So now I gotta work on getting the studs on. I got the middle one. That one went on. And I got that one. Now, she didn't hold on to her side, she let it slide back behind the metal.
Where?
But she's watching what I'm doing. So I'm gonna ask her to hold that again right there. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna ask her to hand me a screw. And I'm just gonna ask her to move her hand. And I'm gonna put one screw in here. That way I don't have to worry about her paying attention. So, I'm gonna ask her to pull this out a little, right here. And then I'm gonna tuck this back underneath the black. And I might have to slide this to get this side. I'm gonna pull this side out. No, I don't want you to do nothing. Okay, so now I have it all in place, but I wanna go ahead and look in and make sure that the whole thing's on the outside of my metal. I think my light's over here. So everything's on the outside of my metal. So I'm going to take the big push nut and put it on the center stud. And I just push it and it holds it. I'm going to start each one of these nuts on the other studs with the washer side down. I had to fix my flap over here so that straight edge is on the outside. You hand me the drill when you get it. And did you grab me some of those 7 screws? Okay, so I'm going to attach the screws. I like to do the one where the fold is because there's actually a tab on the wheel well, so you end up screwing through both of them. So you line them holes up, push up a little bit. If you put the bit in the end of that, it would help me out. And a screw. these top nuts, I just snugged it in so it wouldn't hold the thing real rigid when I want to adjust to put these mud flaps down here. What I did on the two screws on the front side and the back side is I'm just going to put them in loose for now till I get my mud flaps on, in case I got to jiggle this a little or anything. But you can see the clips are lining up pretty good. And if she brings this around, over to here, you can see how far past this sticks out.
Yeah.
So when you look at the mud flap, it's got a little edge. You think that's all that sticks in, but it actually has to go past the metal. And when you put the trim on, that's going to hold that from sliding in. So I'm going to go ahead and just start this screw, and this screw, and this screw, and just tighten it about halfway. They have a 1/4-inch hole, so it'll give me a little slop for the mud flaps. All right, you can put that back on. Okay, can you bring that over here? Can you get these clips? Right from here. So these clips all slide on. So you kind of want to make sure they're all in place on the ones you move. This one just slid over.
Hold on. All right, that one, those there.
You have these little clips, they just slide in and out. So if you drop one, you just slide it back in. But I'm just going to make sure that they're all in place on this side and this side. And what I'm going to do is just hold this up before I put my trim on. I'm just going to hand stick a screw in here so my trim don't move. But I'll have to take that back out for the mud flap. And then I'm going to go ahead and push this back in. And it snaps in easy. I was very surprised. And I'm going to come over here, I'm going to pull my rag out. And I'm going to snap that in. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to check my holes are lined up. Come on over the other side. I'm going to take my temporary screw off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start these. First I got to put this tab back in here. Just push up, it goes on real easy. Then I'm going to start my screws. Find my flashlight. I think that went in right. So I'm going to hold this up and do this one. I'm going to take my little ratchety thing here. Just snug that a little. And I don't want to tighten these yet. Just get them started to thread good. Switch to my drill because I can get at the outside screws with that. So, telling to come over here. So I can see where this old one was, so it's going to line up good. Can you come down and look up?
Huh?
Set on the ground. So this tab, I can see where it's indented in the paint. They must have really brought this off the line. So I'm going to tighten these two outside ones to line me up. I think this one should go first. Then I'm going to make sure the clip is lined up here. I'm going to push up on that just a little bit. Tighten that up. This one's tight. Now I'm going to come back around the inside here. Over here I'm coming. And I'm just going to tighten these up. So they actually start a thread, then they get a little looser, and then they tighten up again. I'm definitely not going to crank on them. And it pulls everything together. And that's it for the mud flap. And then I'm just going to tighten up these two screws, the new ones that I put in. Just till my drill clicks. I'm going to come over here now. I'm going to check the alignment so I can see my screws. One's a little off here. I'm just going to move it over. Okay, it's best to do that before you put the mud flap on, or it could be hard just to line back up. I'm going to snap this corner in first. And as you can see, this is behind the metal. So you're going to sandwich that in. Again, I'm going to leave these loose so I can line it up with the outside screws. Now I'm going to switch to my drill. And I'm going to, you can't see it because she didn't walk around and pointed at it. I'm going to line up that black tab on this side. If it'll seem to line everything up right. You can see the dirt mark, that's all I'm looking at. And I'm gonna check to see this clip's in the right spot. Tighten that up. And I'm going to come over on the other side. And tighten my 3 screws up by hand. I'm gonna buy one of those little sockets that are closed. Not too hard. I'm going to tighten up my 2 screws that I put in. That ain't tight yet. Keep pointing this here, Colleen. I'm going to get a 10mm socket for those plastic nuts, and I'm going to tighten those 2 up. They seem to be just gonna snug it right up. Don't need a lot of force on it. As you can hear by the sound of that, it's actually pretty tight once you get it all in place. Now if Colleen can come around to the front, the only thing I don't like about it is this tab. The way there's nothing at the bottom. So I think I'm going to drill a hole. It crosses over in the bottom corner here and just put a wire tie on it. If it don't bother you, don't do nothing. But now I'm happy. If stones come up, they're not going to sandblast the bottom of my truck. And I'm really disappointed in GMC for not having this on every truck. And thanks for watching.